Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're going to witness the moment an ordinary meal turns into a life-changing promise. When CEO Minh walks into Sung Thuong's little house, reveals the painful truth she never knew, and then kneels down with a 999 gold ring that changes her life forever. If you enjoy the story, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. Spring sunlight slipped through the gaps in the old wooden door and fell across the little village kitchen in soft golden bars. The air was already warm, carrying the sweet scent of ripe bananas, hot oil, and the faint perfume of lemon blossoms drifting in from the garden. Sung Thuong stood by the stove with both hands busy, mixing flour and mashed banana in a metal bowl, then lowering spoonfuls of batter into the pan one after another. The oil hissed at once, and the cakes began to puff and turn golden at the edges. She moved carefully, almost tenderly, as if making banana cakes was more than cooking, as if it was a way of settling her heart. On the wall beside her, hanging from a wooden hook, was the new shirt CEO Minh had bought her. Every time her eyes drifted toward it, the same strange warmth rose quietly inside her. It was such a small thing by city standards, probably nothing to a man like him, but to her it meant something deeper. It meant he had noticed. He had seen the old, worn shirts she kept washing and wearing because she never spent money on herself unless she absolutely had to. He had chosen something just for her. That kind of care was still new enough to make her chest tighten. She turned the cake and smiled faintly, remembering his voice from days earlier. "Grandma and Miss Lin really love your banana cakes." The words had stayed with her ever since. No one had ever said something so simple and still made her feel this seen. She liked that the cakes made people happy. But more than that, she liked that he noticed the things she poured her heart into. It made her feel like her quiet work, her small life, and her careful hands had value beyond survival. Would he come today? The thought rose without permission. She quickly told herself not to be foolish. He was busy. He was always busy. Construction sites, suppliers, calls, meetings, people waiting for decisions. His life moved at a speed completely different from hers. And yet a small, stubborn hope stayed alive anyway. She kept listening for footsteps even while pretending she wasn't. When the first batch was done, she placed the cakes on a tray lined with paper and reached for the measuring tape lying near the window. The materials for the outside work had arrived earlier than expected, and she had promised herself she would check them before noon. A few minutes later, the peace of the morning broke. She measured once, then again. Steel short by 10 centimeters. Concrete short by 3 full units. For a second, she just stared. The sunlight was still bright in the yard. Birds were still calling from the trees. But inside her, something tightened hard and fast. Those missing materials were not a small mistake. They meant delay, wasted labor, lost time, and more pressure. She was already carrying enough. She grabbed her phone and called the supplier immediately. "Trang, it's me. The materials are short by a lot." The apology came quickly, too quickly. Promises followed. They would check. They would send replacements. It must have been a mistake during loading. Sung Thuong closed her fingers tightly around the tape measure while she listened. This supplier had always been reliable. That was what made the mistake feel worse. It was not just inconvenience. It was trust shaken at the exact moment she was trying to build something more stable for herself. "We need to start work this afternoon," she said, her voice firmer now. "Please check it right away and replace the missing materials urgently." When the call ended, she stayed by the window for a long moment, staring out toward the green fields beyond the yard. The sun still shone, the garden still moved in the breeze, but a shadow had entered her day. Still, she did not let herself fall apart. She had spent too many years learning how to survive one problem at a time. Hardship had taught her more than patience. It had taught her how to stand still inside disappointment, until her breathing became steady again. "I'll get through it," she whispered to herself. "I have to." And like her heart always seemed to do now, when fear rose too high, it reached for him. CEO Minh. At almost the same time, in the city, He sat in his office with documents piled across his desk and phones ringing around him, yet his thoughts had already gone elsewhere. He was looking out the window, but what he saw was not the city below. It was Sung Thuong. The way she lowered her eyes when she smiled, the way she kept enduring things quietly, the way she pretended not to need care when her whole life showed how little of it she had been given. He stood up all at once. The moment had come. He knew it with unusual clarity. He could not keep letting her face every hardship alone while he stayed on the edge of her life, offering help only in pieces. Not anymore. So he left the office, drove straight to a familiar jewelry shop, and stood beneath warm golden lights until his eyes settled on one ring, a simple but elegant 999 gold band. "For someone special?" the salesperson asked. Minh looked at the ring and answered softly, "For the most extraordinary woman in my life." When the little box was placed in his hand, it felt heavier than gold should feel, not because of the price, because of the promise inside it. He imagined placing it on her finger. He imagined her eyes filling with tears. He imagined telling her without hesitation that from now on, she would not have to face life alone. Then he got back into the car and drove toward the countryside, the ring in his pocket and a quiet, life-changing decision already made in his heart. CEO Minh reached the village just as the afternoon light turned soft and golden. The road was quiet, the yard still, the little house as simple as ever. But in his pocket, the small ring box felt heavier than anything else he carried. He stepped inside with bags in both hands. Sung Thuong was still by the stove, frying banana cakes. The moment she saw him, her whole face changed. Surprise came first, then happiness so bright she couldn't hide it. "You came," she said softly. Minh smiled and lifted the bags. "I brought a few things." She took the fresh pork from him, and when her fingers brushed his, both of them paused for the briefest moment. The kitchen was warm with the scent of banana, oil, and smoke, and now the fresh smell of meat joined it, making the small space feel even more alive. "It smells amazing," Minh said. "The cakes are almost done," she replied, smiling shyly. He rolled up his sleeves. "Then let me help." She looked at him with surprise. "You know how?" "No," he said honestly, "but I can learn." That made her laugh. Soon they were working side by side in the tiny kitchen. She sliced the pork, seasoned it with fish sauce, garlic, pepper, and lemongrass. He arranged the bread, herbs, and bowls. Their hands brushed now and then, and each accidental touch sent a quiet warmth through her heart. After a while, Minh looked at her more carefully and said in a softer voice, "You've gotten thinner." Sung Thuong looked up. "Have I?" "Yes. With this heat and all that field work, I'm really worried about your health." She gave a small smile. "I'm used to sun and rain, but you still deserve to be cared for," he said. That sentence made her lower her eyes. No one had ever worried about her like that before, not with such real tenderness. Trying to lighten the mood, he added, "Once your reading gets better, I'll buy you a phone." "A phone?" she asked, surprised. "So I can call you whenever I miss you?" Her heart tightened gently at those words. She didn't answer right away. She just kept cooking, but her smile stayed. When dinner was ready, they laid everything out on a mat in the middle of the room. Grilled pork, banana cakes, pate bread, herbs, dipping sauce, steam rose softly from the food. It was simple, but warm and full of care. They ate slowly. She offered him a piece of bread. He placed grilled meat onto her plate in return. Their conversation was light at first, but then Minh put down his chopsticks and looked at her seriously. "Thuong, there's something I need to tell you." She stopped and looked up at once. Then he told her everything. Secretary Nuyet had slipped sleeping pills into his drink. The police had confirmed she was also behind the kidnapping. The cafe camera footage and the accomplice's confession had exposed the whole truth. Sung Thuong froze. She really did that. Minh nodded, regret heavy in his eyes. I'm sorry you had to go through all of that." She looked down, tears filling her eyes, not because she was still afraid, but because he was finally naming the pain she had carried alone for so long. He reached across the meal and held her hand. A little later, when the silence softened, he told her the rest. "I went to my grandmother," he said. "I told her about us." Sung Thuong lifted her head quickly. "I told her I've loved you for a long time." That was when her tears finally fell. "Thank you," she whispered, "for staying by my side." Min squeezed her hand. "From now on, no one will hurt you again." Then he stood and said gently, "Thuong, close your eyes. I have a surprise for you." She obeyed, smiling nervously, her heart beating fast. When he told her to open them, she saw the small box in his hand. Inside was a 999 gold ring shining softly in the lamplight. Her breath caught. "You're giving this to me?" Min knelt in front of her and took her hand. "After everything we've been through," he said, "I know one thing clearly. You are the most extraordinary woman I've ever known. I admire you. I respect you. Please accept this so I can be happy too." At first, she shook her head in disbelief. But then, with tears in her eyes, she nodded. He slid the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly. She stared at it, trembling. "I've never received anything this precious." Min stood and pulled her into his arms. "From now on," he said softly, "you don't have to worry about anything. I will always protect you." She cried against his shoulder, but these were happy tears. Tears of relief. Tears of being loved. Tears of finally feeling that life had changed for real. Outside, dusk settled softly over the little house. Inside, Sung Thuong touched the ring once more and smiled through tears. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'm so happy." On a peaceful spring morning, Lee Sung Thuong spends her time in the kitchen frying golden banana cakes, quietly hoping CEO Min might somehow come to see her. But the calm breaks when she discovers that important construction materials are missing, forcing her to face another problem alone. At the same time, in the city, Min can no longer ignore what his heart has already decided. He leaves his office, buys a meaningful 999 gold ring, and drives straight to her small countryside house. When he arrives, the evening turns warm and intimate as they cook and share a simple meal together. Then Min tells her the painful truth. Secretary Nguyen was behind the sleeping pills and the kidnapping, and the police have already arrested her. Overwhelmed, Sung Thuong realizes how much he has protected her. Finally, Min asks her to close her eyes, kneels before her, and places the gold ring on her finger, giving her not only a gift, but a promise that she will never have to face life alone again.